Today we bring to you a report on what to do in case of heavy rain. There's nothing like preparation when it comes to torrential downpour. Isn't that right?
That's right. You must turn off your gas and electricity and quickly evacuate from areas vulnerable to flash flooding.
What should we do if we are already outside?
Evacuate to a safe place, away from construction sites, underground spaces, and areas prone to frequent flooding. If you're driving, do not stop the car. Instead, slowly drive through the flooded area without stopping.
What should we do once the rain stops?
When going into buildings that have been submerged, do not touch electrical facilities and make sure to ventilate, as there is a risk of gas leakage.
We should also reduce preventable damages and prepare for disasters ahead of time by following safety guidelines.
That is correct. You can receive real-time safety information through the Disaster Safety Information mobile app, 안전 디딤돌.
Thank you for all the great information. Remember, your safety is everyone's safety. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
Over the past several years, the drop in Korea's birth rate has affected all aspects of society here. And we've talked about how many schools across all levels have been forced to shut down or merge with others. So at the university level, it's even more apparent with departments with low enrollment rates having shut down completely. And thus, the central government, along with the individual universities, well, they've been openly recruiting students from abroad to fill these quotas. Question, though, or I have a couple for you. What happens after these international students graduate? Are there quality jobs to convince these students to stay on after graduation? And then, also very important, what about the domestic Korean students? It's going to be a fierce competition. Well, let's talk about this. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Thursday, September 25th on BEFM 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. Welcome to the program on this Thursday morning. We are one day closer to the weekend. I hope you're all doing well. We're ready to kick off our morning together. So in the opening, I talked about, the low birth rates, schools, students, and, having to fill those spots with international students. But, it's a tough job market out there for job seekers, but also for companies that are looking for skilled workers. So we've covered how the U.S. has imposed higher fees for the H-1B visa for specialized workers, including STEM field personnel, STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But for other countries, some are seeing this as an opportunity to attract skilled workers to their respective countries. South Korea, it seems, is joining in on this trend, with the Justice Ministry expanding its F2 long-term resident visa. So the Justice Ministry said that it is newly establishing what is called a K-Star visa track for science and technology graduates of some 20 universities. STEM field graduates who are recommended by these schools will be eligible to sign up for the F2 visa right after they graduate, which will help them live in Korea without having to worry about visa issues while they do research and whatnot. So this is certainly good news for the country's skilled workforce. But another point of consideration is how evenly these workers are distributed, even for work permits or the E9 visa. This is because of the 38,000 people who received these work permits in the first 8 months of this year. Almost 36% are working in the capital area. And the whole point of this system is to help small and mid-sized companies get qualified workers from abroad, especially helping to bring people into the rural areas or areas with a dwindling population. So there's criticism that having well over a third of this pool go into the capital area, which is already, as we know, fully populated, defeats the purpose of promoting balanced regional development. And this has led to some SMEs in non-capital areas hiring undocumented immigrants, and some experts call for a regional mandate in the work permit system. Getting skilled, qualified workers, it's a challenge for all employers. And we definitely hope that, these systems that we talked about can help in this. All right, now it's time for a text topic. So are you ready? Here we go. What one thing would you like to add or change about your workplace? 여러 개 안 되고 오늘 딱 하나만, the top one. 직장에 딱 이거 하나만 바꾸거나 도입할 수 있다면 what would it be? I don't know. Are you going to be like, I want to change my supervisor? Well, if you want, you could say something like that. But anyhow, what is it, that one thing that you want to change or add to your workplace? So send in your messages to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM, 부산영어방송. Find our channel, subscribe, log in and chat with our other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050, 샵 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. So type in same thing there, BEFM or 부산영어방송 to find us, add us as a friend, and then send in your messages, photos too. The ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan, if you're in Busan, on the radio. 90.5 or 103.3 FM. Like I said, we're streaming live right now on YouTube. You can also watch again at your leisure, however many times you want. You can download the BEFM app or the Papang app, and it's all free, easy to use to tune into our program. It is Thursday, so who do we have in the lineup? We have Dr. Ryu Sang-hyo for Ask Dr. Ryu. In hour number 2, we have Vasana for Buzz Breakdown. For our special interview today, what are we going to be focusing on? Well, of course, the U.S. tariff demands and the economic stability of our country. We all know that President Lee Jae-myung is stateside right now for the UN General Assembly. So we're going to take an economic dive into all things that are pertinent, including those tariffs, the negotiations, and all whatnot. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:06, and this is News Overview. President Lee Jae-myung chairs UNSC debate on AI. President Lee Jae-myung presided over the UN Security Council open debate on artificial intelligence and international peace and security on Wednesday local time as the first South Korean president to do so. Kim Gun-hee pleads not guilty in corruption trial. Former First Lady Kim Gun-hee denied stock manipulation, election meddling charges, and alleged acceptance of luxury gifts in exchange for favors in the first corruption trial hearing. KT admits poor management in micropayments case. Telecommunications giant KT Corporation admitted that the company had poorly managed its micro base stations used in the recent unauthorized mobile payment hacks. Birth rate increases for 13th consecutive month. The number of newborns for July came to 21,803, up by 5.9% compared to the same month last year, marking the 13th straight month of rising births. Zelensky appeals to UN for intervention. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appealed to global leaders to intervene to prevent Russia from leading the world through the most destructive arms race in human history. And this was News Overview. It's now time for Now Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, you're in a good mood. It's not Friday, Sejin. It's only Thursday.
It's Thursday, but
We're getting
today,
closer.
Yeah, today is the day when my favorite sandwich shop opens. It closes
real?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it opens on only Thursday.
Really?
Friday. Yes.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
gonna head down there as soon as I finish my work.
Oh, you are so excited. Okay. Well, I do have to ask you a text topic. So, what is one thing you would like to add or change about your workplace?
I've been contemplating about bringing some mini oven here.
A mini oven.
Yeah, as if it's not brought by me.
Ah, like kind of like sneaking it into the break room?
Yes.
I'm
So,
trying to think, is there room? We have the microwave.
We got microwave.
We have
so
the
don't have-
refrigerator. Oh, but you want to sneak in an oven. And why?
so that you can use some to heat it up your croissant or pain au chocolat.
Ah, so you're more for the oven than the microwave oven.
Of course.
Yes.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
No-brainer,
Okay.
yeah.
I got it. So, by the way, all our staffers, if you see an oven, we know who snuck it in. All right. Let's talk about our first item. This is about the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries moving to Busan. So there are plans to support the children of staff who will be transferring schools.
Yes, this is Busanilbo exclusive. As the ministry relocates this year, Busan City Office of Education is preparing measures to support school transfers for staff children. On the 23rd, so yesterday, the city asked for assistance with placement, and they're now discussing ways to accept students beyond normal quarters.
What's the actual plan then?
First, they will run a survey to see how many students want to move into middle schools and prevent overcrowding. For high schools, they're considering a temporary increase in the transfer quota. Yes.
So to clarify, that was on the 23rd. That was like 2 days ago, actually, on Tuesday. So let's talk about the numbers and I guess changes at the high schools.
Yes, they are looking at increasing the transfer quota for general high schools.
Okay.
So instead of 3%, it could go up to 5%. What this means is that right now, only 3% of spots at general high schools can be filled by transfer students from outside the city.
I see.
But widening this to 5% would give the children a better shot at their preferred schools.
What about middle schools? Are there any changes for middle schools?
Right now, middle school transfers are allowed only if there's room within the official class size. Because this relocation isn't part of Innovation City scheme, which carries an extra 3% transfer quota.
I see.
So the office is exploring a new legal basis for temporary support. Hence the advanced survey to match demand before any squeeze.
Well, maybe not just the students. What about teachers within those families?
If a spouse is a teacher, the office will support transfers as well, starting with one-to-one personal exchanges with other regions. If no match is found, unilateral transfers may proceed under the Busan staffing rules.
Okay.
An official said the relocation marks a pivotal milestone in the area of decentralization and added that every effort will be made to ensure the children of ministry staff may continue their studies without disruption.
As we know, so important, and also just for families in general, for, family harmony and whatnot. So I'm glad that there's support for them. All right, next. There's been a movement on the railway front in Kimhae, something about a brand new station breaking ground.
Yes, Shinol Station, part of the Busan-Masan double track railway through Kimhae, Gyeongnam Province, has begun construction with a groundbreaking ceremony on the 24th.
So what exactly are they building here?
Kimhae City is investing a 44.6 billion won to build a new Shinol station, which is built on 20,300 square meter site, about 3 football fields. You'll have one ground level station building and underground passage to connect the platforms and 2 platforms. The plan is to test run and open in 2027.
So my next question is this: what difference will this make for the residents?
Once this station opens, residents in Jillemyeon and Changju region will find it much easier to get around and tighten links to nearby industrial complexes and logistic hubs.
Okay.
Kimhae Mayor Hong Tae-yong said Shinol Station will be more than transport hub. will mark a turning point for regional development, promising that construction will ensure a safe and convenient environment for all citizens.
Right. And the wider line itself, the Busan to Masan double track railway, it has had its share of troubles though, right?
Right. After a tunnel collapse in 2020, relocation's been undergoing. The line aims to open in the first half of 2026, with Sinol Station following in 2027.
Right. So once again, the restoration is ongoing. We're going to talk about something else now. This is regarding Busan trying something new with, I guess, elevators, like traffic light signals on elevator doors.
Yes, Busan City said is starting a pilot project to install traffic light signals on lift and elevators, and I'm going to call it lift, at pedestrian overpasses.
Yes. And how do the signals work?
When the doors open or close, green, yellow, and red lights, along with audio alert, will inform passengers of the lift status on guiding when it's safe to board.
Okay.
The city notes over 65% of lift accident here involved user negligence, such as bumping, falling, or getting caught in doors.
So how many are going to be installed and by when?
This year, install on 1 to 2 overpass lift, and next year, so 2026, plan to add to 33 more locations.
I see.
So by 2026, dozens of overpass lifts in Busan will have clear green light queues for safe boarding.
Yes, hopefully that, of course, eradicate all safety accidents. And we need to be careful ourselves, too. All right, what is next on the agenda?
The city has announced price stabilization measures to keep costs under control during the Chuseok holiday.
Yes, so tell us more about this.
First,
we're going to start with food, right?
Yes. First, the city will secure more stock. Apples, pears, beef, and eggs at 1.9 times the usual supply.
Okay.
Cabbage, radish, pork, and chicken at 1.1 times. And 6 seafood like pollock, mackerel, and squid, cutlets, galchi, croaker, and anchovy at double the volume.
Okay, so that's the food angle. What about other relief measures?
From October 4th to the 7th, tolls will be waived on 7 major roads, including Gwangan Bridge and Busan Harbor Bridge, and city gas sales cost will be frozen. And from October 1st to the 5th, 46 traditional market will hold refund event, where buying fresh local farm or fish products can get you up to 30% back in onnuri gift vouchers. Farmers market will also pop up at City Hall and district offices like Busanjin, Haeundae, and Yeonjaegu, offering discounts on seasonal produce and holiday gift set.
Yes, so this is all going to be helpful. What about the local currencies as part of the plan too?
Yes, the refund rate for Dongbaekjeon, Busan's local currency, is rising from 7% to 13%. Good price restaurant will get help with taxed service fees.
Yes.
And since July, a special city task force has been working to keep farm produce supplies stable and prices in check.
I see. So we're talking about like from extra food, free tolls, market refunds, everything and anything to help citizens. All right. Finally, our last story takes us straight to Busan's Gimhae International Airport. What's going on?
A man from Guinea denied entry to Korea has gone to court demanding the right to refugee screening. On the 24th, so yesterday, Busan District Court ruled it in his favor, saying immigration officials were wrong not to even begin the process.
I see. How long has he been there?
He arrived on April 27, applied for asylum on the spot, and has now spent nearly 5 months in the airport holding area. The Ministry of Justice refused to review the case, saying his testimony is unreliable, but he refused to return home. He says he took part in protests against military rule in Guinea and is fleeing persecution.
So what has he been doing, I guess, since then?
He has been staying inside the airport and, with the backing of human rights groups, filed a lawsuit last July against the Gimhae Airport Immigration Office. His legal representative noted we won in the final trial, but it remains to be seen whether the Ministry of Justice will appeal or not.
But in the meantime, how has he been living?
Human rights groups say more than 98% of his meal have been hamburgers 3 times a day, every day. They call it a clear violation of refugee law, which requires food and shelter appropriate to an applicant's culture. The group were urging authorities to at least grant him a screening.
I see. So you mentioned earlier that, he's been here for like 5 months, and then now that the court has ruled in his favor, what's next?
Even with the ruling, he may still be stuck inside Kim Airport until the final verdict. At Incheon Airport, those who win a first trial can move to outside facilities, but Kim has no such a place. So on the 25th at 10 in the morning,
yes,
human rights group plan a press conference in front of the National Human Rights Commission's Busan's office.
Yes, so whether it's a person from Guinea or from any other place, I guess if they are applying for asylum or refugee status, we'll have to follow those stories as well. So thank you for all the information. And of course, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
Thank you.
All right, I'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan. Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It is time for your traffic and weather. It's now 7:20 on this Thursday morning. First up, let's talk about the Dongso overpass, which is congested from the Hwangyang ramp to the old Gaegeum tollgate. Also, there's some traffic on Luno Samsungdaedo from Myeongji underpass to Shinho Bridge. It's backed up on Gwanmundaedo from Pangnam Tunnel to Baegang Tunnel, and it's looking slow on Jungangdaedo from Seil Hospital to Choryang intersection. Currently, it's 25 degrees Celsius. It's raining lightly in parts of Busan. The daytime high, it's going to be slightly warmer than yesterday, going up to 29, and there will be sporadic drizzles throughout the day. Across the nation, raining with heavy rain, and gusts of wind in southern Chungnam and Jeolla areas. This was your traffic and weather. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan. What does it mean to live in an English-friendly Busan? And what role does English play as Busan rises as a global hub city?
올 가을 여러분에게 영어하기 편한 도시 부산으로 가는 길을 안내합니다.
This fall, on September 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m., join us for a special outdoor stage event at F1963 Open Square, featuring a thought-provoking panel with a professional English educator, Lee Bo-young, British broadcaster Peter Bint, K-pop idol Aaron, and me, Catherine. Plus, enjoy a special live performance by Busan's English-friendly city ambassador Kim Jo-han and singer-songwriter 커피 소년. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan.
9월 27일 토요일 오후 3시 F1963 오픈스퀘어에서 여러분을 기다립니다.
It's time for Top Stories. We have Haley in the studio. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, before I ask your text topic, I got to read this one by Plank님, who says, 농담 버전, meaning the funny version. 직장 동료 상사끼리 불화 생기면 노래 대결이나 랩 대결로 해결하는 제도 들어오면 재밌겠다. Oh my gosh, can you imagine like your supervisor and your colleagues if there is... Are we gonna have to? You sing, I'll rap. But we don't really disagree on much. But can you imagine? I want to see our little birdie, PD님, go up against like,
the big boss.
말하려 하다가 beatbox. I can see her doing the beatbox. That's a great idea. I said we do that.
I was going to say, I want a coffee bar, but then after Planknim's response, I was like, what about we just full out fight?
Like Fight Club?
Duke it out. Let's just, you know what? I get so, not here, but at my other job, sometimes I get really irritated. I'm like, let's just fight.
Just fight.
Let's just get it on and get it over with. Why do you think I work out?
At BFF. Yeah. That'd be so funny and not funny. Yes. We're going to jump into our first story. This is regarding what's happening stateside. President Lee Jae-myung is obviously still in New York, right?
Right. So a busy couple of days. Let's start with Tuesday local time, where he gave the keynote speech at the UN General Assembly. And following this, he's had a series of bilateral meetings. So first, right after that speech, he met with United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, and they continued discussions on Lee's peace plan for the Korean Peninsula, the point that he honed in on during the speech.
Yes.
Also, this END initiative, Exchange, Normalization, and Denuclearization, END, for the Korean Peninsula.
Right.
After that, he met with President of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, and they continued discussions on cooperations in transportation and infrastructure they had earlier on in the year. He also met with President of the Czech Republic, Peter Pavel, and discussed tourism exchanges, how Prague especially is extremely famous here in South Korea.
Yes, indeed. And the president also met with the Italian Prime Minister.
Right. So the summit with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni took place, and they discussed ways to boost cooperation between the two countries. This, by the way, is their second meeting, as they previously met at the G7 summit back in Canada in June. According to a press release from the presidential office, President Lee Jae-myung commented on how the two countries are similar in many ways. They're both peninsulas geographically, and also kind of the national character, like the passionate, 빨리빨리, we're always in a hurry way, and suggested cooperation in AI and defense industries. Prime Minister Meloni remarked that the Korea-Italy Business Summit Business Forum that took place in Seoul earlier this month was very successful, and now this shows high potential for expanding their economic cooperation. And she visited President Lee to visit Italy at a time that's convenient for him. The presidential office also said that there was a summit that was planned with French President Emmanuel Macron. However, the French side asked for this to be postponed due to some urgent domestic matters on their end. However, due to scheduling conflict, this was actually canceled.
I see. And I hear that we have a developing story on President Lee meeting with the U.S. Treasury Secretary.
Right. So President Lee Jae-myung just met with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent for trade talks. And according to a briefing from an official at the presidential office, President Lee said the Korea-U.S. alliance is very important. And to that end, not only security cooperation, but economic cooperation to maintain this alliance is key.
Okay.
This is, of course, regarding the trade talks. And he also addressed the $350 billion investment package from South Korea to the U.S. and said that he hopes discussions on this will move forward in a positive way that could serve both countries' interests based on what he called a commercially reasonable method. So again, the U.S. has been pushing for a Japan method where South Korea would inject the entire funding in cash with their free say on where the money would go. So President Lee actually added that South Korea and Japan, they are very different in terms of their economic size, foreign currency reserve, and more. So it would be not very, again, commercially reasonable. And Secretary Bessent said, these are short-term challenges. However, the Korea-U.S. alliance is ironclad, and therefore these could be definitely overcome. Adding that President Trump also emphasized that South Korea is a very important partner in the shipbuilding industry. By the way, this comes with this backdrop. The U.S. Trade Representative in the Commerce Department announced that American tariffs on European car and car parts, they have been confirmed at 15%. This will actually retroactively apply to goods imported into the U.S. from August 1st. So that means companies that paid higher tariffs from August 1st until now will actually get a refund.
I see.
So what does that mean for South Korea? Because Japan now has a 15% auto tariff. South Korea's is still at 25% pending trade talk confirmations. So it does put more pressure on South Korea to wrap up trade talks as companies could be disadvantaged.
That's right. So, of course, we're going to continue to follow that big story until we hear, pen to paper, that deal, whether it's signed or not. All right, let's move on for now and talk about this. Former First Lady Kim Gun-hee's trial began yesterday, as Kim is now the first former First Lady to face criminal charges.
Right. So not only that, so she is the first former First Lady to be indicted, detained, and stand trial. So she faces in this trial 3 major charges stemming from the Deutsche Motor stock manipulation scandal. Election meddling, this pertains to PPP candidate People Power Party candidate nomination involving former lawmaker Kim Young-sun and political broker Myung Tae-gyun, as well as the luxury goods in exchange for favors case involving the luxury handbag and necklace from the Unification Church via the shaman Konjin. So yesterday she appeared in court wearing all black with her inmate number over her chest, and she was wearing a mask. Her attorneys pled not guilty to all charges.
Yes.
So they went through some specifics regarding the Deutsche Motor stock manipulation case. They argued that prosecutors from the previous administration, one headed by her husband, basically said that there were no charges to be pressed and that she allegedly did not partake in stock manipulation.
Okay.
And then regarding the election meddling, receiving poll numbers from Myung Tae-gyun, that was worth 270 million won. The attorney said it was only a few times over Kakao Talk. So it seems to kind of imply that this was very casual, more conversational than official.
Yes.
That there were polls that were conducted by the official camp, so there was essentially no need to receive these personal polls.
I see. But the charges may not end here.
Right, so that's because the Minjunggi Special Counsel investigating various allegations into the former First Lady. This council has extended its activities period by a month, and it has notified the Presidential Office and the National Assembly.
Okay.
So the Special Counsel says this is to conduct additional investigations into the main charges they're currently looking into because there is a handful of cases. They still need to delve into the bribery case regarding her Cabana Contents Company, illegal meddling into relocation of the presidential office, and her family's alleged preferential treatment in changing the route of the Seoul-Yangpyeong Expressway.
That's right. So we're going to leave that trial and that story there for now. We're going to go back to a story. It's like a seemingly never-ending story. It's like they say, like an onion. You peel and peel, and there's more. Data and information breaches.
Right. So we talked about KT just in the previously, but this time it's about public institutions, 공기업, government institutions, which are in no way supposed to set examples. So last year, apparently 3.91 million pieces of personal information leaks happened across public institutions from 104 reported cases. So this year, we've had 72 cases involving 910,000 pieces of public information. By the way, these public institutions, as defined by law, they include the parliament, the courts, the constitutional court, the national election commissions, and institutions under the central government. So the law, by the way, changed back in 2013 that requires these institutions to basically report every single breach of personal information, including information on your resident registration number or breaches via hacking. So this is why we did see a spike in reported cases between 2023 and last year.
That's right. So let's talk about the specific institutions. Who are the biggest culprits?
Right. So the biggest leaks happened at Gyeonggi Office of Education involving almost 3 million pieces of information. This was followed by the Korean National Council on Social Welfare, over 1 million, Gyeongbuk National University. So kind of all over the place. By the way, the public institutions collectively are in possession of over 75.7 billion pieces of personal information, as you can imagine. However, despite this massive responsibility, as some might say, there's actually not nearly enough budget or personnel to manage this.
I see. So I guess, we don't like hearing about these stories, but we do have to report on them. So thank you for the information. For our next story, we're going to take a look at the housing market in South Korea, especially a handful of, I guess you would say, like the top buyers.
So can you imagine owning over 400 homes.
Oh, for real?
For real. So 10 people collectively bought up 4,115 homes in the last 6 years.
Wow.
So this is according to the Land Ministry data released by Democratic Party lawmaker Min Hong-cheol. Between 2020 and June of this year, the top 1,000 home buyers, and I'm talking individuals, not corporations.
Yes.
They collectively bought 37,000 homes at 4.3 trillion won altogether. This covers apartments, multi-household homes like villas and standalone houses, 주택.
But then this is even more eye-opening at the very, very top level.
Right. So the top 10 home buyers together bought 4,115 homes, 663.9 billion won collectively. This comes to 411 on average per person. But the very top homeowner/home buyer bought 794 homes with 116 billion home. So 794. It's almost 800. And there's also one person who bought 30 homes, but at 49.8 billion won. So on average, this person owns, the one home this person owns works out to 1.6 billion won. 16억. So the lawmaker who released this data says, why does this matter? Well, these home prices and data, they all show that real estate market is one that centers on speculation, especially for these top buyers, and blame the previous administration's failed real estate policy and called for expanding the housing supply to stabilize the market.
Yes. And some of you may be wondering, especially if you're abroad, like, so what's the big deal? Well, because there's a shortage of housing, especially in the capital area.
Right,
so.
and extremely high home prices in Seoul.
All right. Earlier this week, we discussed the government introducing measures to increase transparency over what goes on in operation rooms, ORs, to prevent the misuse of medical licenses. But the controversy over this very issue continues.
Right. So medical licenses and medical records of doctors are actually unavailable to the general public in Korea.
Okay.
So according to the National Assembly Research Service, in South Korea, there are no legal systems or channels through which a patient can check or look up their doctor's license information, whether it's even active or their experience, including records about medical malpractice suits, unless the doctor chooses to disclose them. So basically, for an average patient, the only realistic information that's available would be the doctor's profile. They usually have like a whole wall dedicated to it at their practice or on their website. There is a medical license management system under the health ministry, but this, again, is not available for the general public.
And this has led to problems and problematic cases.
Right. And of course, this isn't to cast blame on the entire profession because there are, of course, doctors are very much dedicated to their craft. However, this lack of information has led to victims. Let's take this one particular example. The doctor was found guilty of professional negligence resulting in death. A famous singer, late Sinetol. He died back in 2014. He was found guilty in the first court verdict in 2016. The guilty verdict was confirmed by the Supreme Court 2 years later in 2018.
Yes.
At that point in 2018, this is when he had his medical license revoked. But that means between 2014, when that surgery happened, and 4 years later, his license was still active. And he continued to practice medicine while he was undergoing a criminal trial. And there was another malpractice case that happened in 2014 again. So, by the way, under the Medical Act, even if one does have his or her medical license revoked, they can apply to have it basically reinstated. But this is subject to health ministry assessment. And actually, the criteria, those have gotten much more stringent in recent year or so. But then it's also been pointed out, coming back to our story, that if there had been a way for patients to look this up, such tragedies could have been prevented. By the way, this is the case for major countries, meaning patients can look up the information, including most U.S. states. And other occupations in South Korea, like attorneys and accountants, are also required to disclose this information.
But why not doctors? Curious. Well, we're going to leave all the stories there. And of course, we'll check in with you in hour number 2. So thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, we are due for a first song break. By the way, if you want to listen to this song live, you're going to have to join us. Saturday, 3 p.m. You know where, right? F1963. So this is 영어 by 커피소년.
언젠가 내면의 깊은 존재의식 인간의 무한함과 국제 정세와 경쟁법의 실태 영어로 스피치하리 언젠가 동북아의 미래와 통일과 예물접한 관계를 영어로 스피치하리 어리스닝 라이팅 고 문제없어 영어 좋아 한국말도 좋아 영어 좋아 한국말도 좋아 yeah. 그래 그래 영어 좋아 한국말도 좋아 영어 좋아 한국말도 좋아 yeah. 그래 그래
All right, so you heard that song. If you want to hear it live one more time this Saturday, it's coming out. I'm so excited, and I hope to see as many of you as possible if you can make it out to 1963, F1963. It's going to be held at 3 p.m., and I will be there along with our amazing panelists. And then we have the representative, like English educator. If you have been in Korea for any number of years, you've probably heard of the name Lee Bo-young. She will be featured. She'll have a little talk with you all. And then we're going to have this rich panel. We're going to talk about all things related to language in English. So anyhow, I do want to also tell you about our listener survey that is ongoing right now. It takes about, a few minutes, but we appreciate any feedback. Hopefully it's constructive criticism, but we can take it. Anything to make our show better, anything to make BEFM programming better. So we want to hear from you. You can go to our website, www.befm.or.kr, and click on the banner to participate. We do appreciate everything that you post or, share with us. We take everything very seriously. Looking at some of your responses to our text topic today. So I've been asking you about something that you want to change about your workplace. So some of them have been quite funny. A common thread that I have seen is about, actually, the eating or the food. For example, I think Taejinim was posting that he wishes that he could change kind of the company cafeteria food, 회사 점심 식사가 아주 맛있게 바뀌었으면 좋겠어요. 그러면 지금은 살짝 안 맛있나 봐요. It's not so great right now. Positive things. At least you have a company cafeteria. That's good, right? Some smaller companies do not. So you're one of the lucky ones. Umberto has a response. People to stop eating their lunch at their desk. And he writes, people, exclamation point. Two of them go to the lunchroom or kitchen area. So, yes, Umberto is bothered by your food smells and probably maybe like the sound of you eating. Yeah, maybe you should go to the break room if there is one. So thank you for some of your responses. And we are definitely going to try to get Dr. Liu. He is going to be on next with us right now. So I'll be back with him in just a moment. All right, we are connecting via Zoom today with Dr. Liu for Ask Dr. Liu. Good morning, Dr. Liu. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to see you, at least through Zoom. Of course, hopefully we'll see your face in person real soon. So now, what are we going to dive into today for Ask Dr. Liu?
Okay, we're going to talk about personality and its health issues.
Oh,
Sorry
really?
about my froggy voice because I have some kind of coming down with cold.
Oh, I hope you're feeling better soon.
Thank you.
So we're
anyhow,
talking about personality? Yes.
Yes, right.
What about it? What about personality?
Oh, yeah. there are a lot of types of personality, like extrovert, introvert, or narcissistic personality. All those kind of personalities are to do with our health issues. So I'm going to talk about, first one is extroverts. What kind of personality do you think you have?
I believe that I am kind of an introvert, but I've changed into an extrovert because of Morning Wave in Busan. So I would say now I'm an extrovert.
Okay. If you're an extrovert, you might have a very strong immune system. Studies show that they feel colds, and because they are very active and socialize with other people. Think of it this way: children who grew up in a very sterile environment, they don't have much chance to expose themselves to a lot of germs. So on the other hand, think of the girl or boys living in a very farm or living in dirt area. They are exposed themselves to a lot of immune kind of dirty things, and their immune gets stronger and stronger. So that's why a lot of extroverts' personality, they tend to have lesser cold. I'm a little bit sorry about that. Anyhow, they have less. They are very strong immunity. That's why extroverts people tend to have a strong defense mechanism and strong defense immunity, physically and socially as well.
Wow, that's really interesting. I've never heard of this, that like our personality, whether we're extroverted or introverted, might affect our health. And I was trying to think about this while you were speaking on this matter, Dr. Liu. I do get colds once in a while, but like overall, I feel like I'm pretty healthy. So I think what you're saying has, it has value. I can definitely, believe what you're saying. So what about like the super organized types of personality, the ones that kind of detail every little detail, everything is planned out? What about people with those types of personality?
These are the kind of very meticulous people.
Yes.
They make smart choices, eating well and exercising, and they don't smoke. Usually they don't over drinking. So that's why they even take meds at about the same time, exactly like doctors they'll tell them to do, and so they tend to have better mental health due to their stability.
That's really interesting too. So I like that discipline, though, that discipline to, actually that discipline parlays over into your health, as you're saying. So what about this type of personality? There are people who are like eternal optimists. The glass is always half full versus kind of the pessimist. What about for optimists?
Optimism is usually seen as strength. Those people recover faster from stress, and they maintain healthy, better social relationships, and they often report a higher quality of life. So it reminds me of the quotes I learned from when in college. I'd rather be an optimist who's sometimes right, rather than to be a pessimist who is always right. Even when they face some difficulties, they overcome their situations looking at the better side of their situation. But there's a downside of it when it comes to health.
Yes.
The downside is optimistic people, they sometimes underestimate risks, or they sometimes dismiss early warning signs. And so that's why they delay seeing a doctor, or they sometimes they neglect some minor early symptoms and signs. That's why they can lead to a late detection of the disease, which turns into a poor...
That's me. I fully understand. Because you think like, oh, I'm fine. I'll get over it. It's no big deal. And then by the time you go see a doctor, you're like, oh, I'm dying. What can you do for me? I'm definitely that optimist that can sometimes kind of overestimate how we're actually feeling. So I definitely see what you're talking about. I have another question for you, Dr. Liu. What about impulsive personality types? People who are kind of, spontaneous and very impulsive.
Yeah, I used to be very impulsive when I was in college.
Yes.
But Yes, that's one of the things that I regret in my life. When in my hindsight, impulsive types are more likely to take risks, like overindulging of food or alcohol, or even gambling. These kind of habits can lead to addiction or chronic health issues, both mentally and physically. So, they have to control their heart, their mind, and their behavior. So, if you feel like you're kind of you belong to this kind of impulsive type personality, which might take a toll on your health and mental issues. I want you to see a doctor as soon as possible.
Okay.
But it depends. It's a matter of degree. If you think you're very extreme, sometimes impulsive type is really sometimes good. When you're on a stage, you look at you're a singer or kind of a performance. You have to be very impulsive. Like I went to some circus last weekend with my son, and then the crowd and the people on the podium, they're acting really awesome. So I wish I could have a chance to get on that stage and do some kind of impulsive behavior.
Really?
Yeah. I'm some kind of, sometimes I don't know what I am, but sometimes I feel like I'm introvert. Sometimes I feel like I'm extrovert. So it depends upon where I am. But anyhow, sometimes some impulsiveness it might give you some kind of good memories, but it depends. It's a matter of degree. So anyhow, if you have health issues, regardless of your personality, don't hesitate to seek a doctor.
Yes, and I have one last category that I want to ask you
Catherine.
about. What about people who are kind of worry-warts, always anxious and worried about, do I have this? And what if this happens? How does that impact a person, if you have that type of personality?
Okay, if you're anxious, your stress level increases, and then also it might increase the risk of heart attack and stroke and other kind of personality, mental health and physical health as well. It's been shown that if you're anxious, extreme case of anxiety it can happen, like a generalized anxiety disorder or panic attacks, because of the autonomic nervous system. Think of it this way. You know what autonomic nervous system? 자율신경계 in Korean. It consists of two things: sympathetic nervous system, which controls, which is responsible for our stress and anxiety, and the other thing is parasympathetic. 교감신경 is sympathetic, and parasympathetic is 부교감신경. If you're anxious, your dry might get dry and then anxious, and also you might be nervous, and then you couldn't digest well, and you might dizziness. So likewise, in that case, you might have some difficulty focusing and pooping and things like that. So, sympathetic and parasympathetic, you need to control it really well so that you can have a very happy bowel movement and sleep well, eat well, and then anxiety is bad for your health.
Dr. Liu, we thank you so much for coming on air with us, although you're kind of feeling under the weather, and we will check in with you in person next week. So thank you so much, and happy Chuseok coming up soon, but we'll see you next week for sure, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, everybody. That was Ask Dr. Liu. And once again, a big thanks to him because he was not feeling well, but he checked in with us via Zoom. So we are going to leave that segment and hour number 1 here. We're going to get to hour number 2. This is Scar Tissue by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So enjoy, and we'll be back at 8.
Scar tissue that I wish you saw. Sarcastic Mr. Know-It-All. I'll close your eyes and I'll kiss you, 'cause with the birds I'll share. With the birds I'll share this lonely view. And with the birds I'll share this lonely view. And push me up against the wall. Young tuck girl in a push-up bra. I'm falling all over myself to lift your heart and taste your heel, 'cause with the birds I share this lonely view. And with the birds I share this lonely view. And with the birds I share this lonely view. wave goodbye to Ma and Pa, 'cause with the birds of shed, with the birds of shed, it's a lonely view. And with the birds of shed, it's a lonely view. Soft spoken with a broken jaw, step outside but not to brawl. And autumn sweet wind, call it fall, I'll make it to the moon if I have to crawl. And with the birds of shed, it's a lonely view. And with the birds of shed, it's a lonely view. And with the birds of shed, it's a lonely view.
안녕하세요. 현대해상 모델 이정재입니다. 70년 현대해상의 여정을 함께해 주신 모든 분들께 감사드립니다. 분들의 하루하루가 더 나은 삶으로 채워지도록
called on the international community to come together for responsible use of AI, saying that the future will change drastically depending on how the global community handles AI technology. The South Korean president also reaffirmed his country's commitment to leading international cooperation to ensure that AI be used as a tool for building a sustainable future for humanity. Kim Gun-hee pleads not guilty in corruption trial. Former First Lady Kim Gun-hee denied stock manipulation, election meddling charges, and alleged acceptance of luxury gifts in exchange for favors in the first corruption trial hearing. Kim stated her date of birth for the court's record, adding that she was unemployed and that she did not wish for a jury trial. The former First Lady faces charges of violating the Capital Markets Act, the Political Funds Act, and a law on the acceptance of bribes for mediation. The court will hold another session tomorrow, which Kim is not required to attend, and the trial will start in earnest from October 15th. KT admits poor management in micropayments case. Telecommunications giant KT Corporation admitted that the company had poorly managed its micro-base stations used in the recent unauthorized mobile payment hacks. CEO of KT, Kim Young-sub, appeared at a parliamentary hearing yesterday and said that the company is working on figuring out any and all damages from the hacked micropayments, admitting that the company found lapses in its femtocell management. The authorities said that they will conduct thorough investigations into the possibilities of hacked information being used to create clone phones and request police investigation if they find evidence of KT having tried to cover up the case. Birth rate increases for 13th consecutive month. The number of newborns for July came to 21,803, up by 5.9% compared to the same month last year, marking the 13th straight month of rising births. 13 metropolitan cities and provinces, including Seoul and Busan, saw a rise in the number of newborns, whereas 4, including Gwangju and Sejong, saw declines. The total fertility rate for July came to 0.8. Statistics Korea attributed the rising birth rate to an increase in marriages, which reached the highest on-year record in 9 years, the number of women in their early 30s, as well as the government's family support policies. Zelensky appeals to UN for intervention. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appealed to global leaders to intervene to prevent Russia from leading the world through the most destructive arms race in human history. In his address to the UN General Assembly, Zelensky said that more countries would be met with Russian aggression unless the global community displayed a unified front and criticized international institutions as too weak. His comments came as U.S. President Donald Trump for the first time said that Ukraine could win back all of its land, marking a significant shift in his position on Ukraine's war with Russia. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for Waglwagle. Haley's back.
I would like to clarify that when in our number one, I said I wish I could duke it out with my coworkers. I was only kidding. To all the 10-year-olds listening out there and their parents, violence is never the answer. We verbally spat, maybe use gentle words, and
we hug it out.
Well, I don't take it too far, but we don't fight.
Yes, we don't. And for our first story, for you, if you have young ones listening, especially Sangkam-han, I hope she said bye, so I guess she's off to school because this is a story not for little ones.
All right,
right?
so we are talking about some adult issues, but this is an important social, even potentially diplomatic issue.
Okay.
But parents and guardians, if you have little ones listening, please mute us for a little bit.
Yes.
Because the South Korean embassy in Laos has issued this travel warning against adult tourism to South Koreans visiting the country.
You got to lay it out because if you say adult tourism, people don't understand.
So again, right now I'm assuming that you all have me mute if you're listening in young company. So the Korean embassy in Laos has issued an official warning urging Korean visitors not to engage in prostitution,
right,
paying for sexual services, stressing that these acts not only damage the country's image abroad, but also carry criminal penalties under Laotian law.
Okay.
So this was posted on the Korean embassy website earlier this month, and it said, prohibition of prostitution in Laos. And the statement reads, as overseas travel by South Korean citizens increases, there have been media reports of some travelers becoming involved in prostitution. And reports have also been received that certain visitors to Laos are engaging in, quote, illegal activities that harm public morals. By the way, according to the Laotian law, anyone engaged in prostitution or aiding and abetting in it faces 3 months to 1 year of imprisonment. So there is a sentencing minimum.
Okay.
Detention or a fine. Buyers of sexual services are also punished under the same provision.
Right, and this is a sensitive issue in Laos, right?
Right, because last year a controversy erupted actually in South Korea after an online post appeared to describe these people. Reviews seems to be the closest way to say this. Their visits to Laotian brothels, but these involved minors working there. So, yeah. So, by the way, of course, there are more severe penalties applied in cases of underage minors. The embassy also noted that Koreans who are caught in such prostitution scandals abroad may not only face penalties there, but also back in Korea because the Korean system has this personal or nationality principle, 속인주의, of jurisdiction. That means citizens are subject to the Korean Penal Code even when crimes are committed overseas.
Yes. So, I mean, that shouldn't be the reason why you're not committing these acts anyway, but please don't do it. All right, Chuseok is coming up real soon, but for animal rights activists, this raises questions and concerns about pets and their care. Are they getting abandoned?
This is an upsetting story in a different aspect.
Okay.
Let's fact check this claim. Do more animals get abandoned the longer a holiday is? The very unfortunate answer is yes, it seems. So I bring data from the Animal and Plant Quarantine Agency. In the past 4 years, the 2022 Lunar New Year and the 2023 Chuseok were longer than others.
Yes.
And during these two times, there was an uptick of abandoned animals. And because Chuseok does tend to be a little bit longer than Lunar New Year, because there's usually National Foundation Day or Hangul Day around it, Chuseok does see a bigger number of abandoned animals. So let's go back to the 2023 Chuseok.
Okay.
During this 6-day holiday, 1,304 pets were abandoned, or at least they were reported and they were rescued. So we actually don't have the full figure on how many were abandoned because, these are the ones that were rescued.
Okay.
So that means on average, 160 pets were abandoned or rescued per day. By the way, this is despite the general number of animal abandonment decreasing. So yes, taking in all the data into consideration, we can see that holidays, we do see an uptick in animal abandonment.
Yes, so let's talk about the reason. What is prompting people to do this?
We all may have our other reasons, but the general reason, according to the agency survey in 2023, overall, people pointed to behavioral issues with pets, whether that be barking, biting. That accounted for 45.7%, 40% unexpected costs. So animal rights activists say that pet owners who may have been experiencing these issues just as like a backdrop, they could experience additional inconveniences, and I use that in air quotes, like travel and cost, and that could tip the scale into them abandoning their pets. Cost was also a big issue because these kennels or hotels, they do cost a minimum of 50,000 won per night, but that apparently can double during peak season like Chuseok. Pet sitting, having people visit your home, that can be as much as 30,000 won per hour. So given this, some municipalities are providing financial support for this if they use designated kennels within the area. And the Animal and Plant Quarantine Agency is running a rescue pop-up during the holidays.
Right.
So if you find any animal that seems to be abandoned or lost on the street, you can actually go to the 국가동물 보호 정보 system. And the URL is actually very simple. animal.go.kr. Again, that's animal.go.kr. And once you report it there, this nationwide system will actually dispatch the municipality in question, and they'll send animal protection authorities there.
Right, but this is one of the reasons why our family never goes on a long vacation.
Right.
Because we have to think about, our pets. We have 4 cats and a rabbit. So unless we have like a family member coming over to clean their litter and to feed them, it's like...
And I
we've
recently
made a choice.
cat sat for a friend who took a family trip for a few days. And I mean, of course, I was only there for an hour, but I have zero experience with pets, but people are willing to help if you're willing to ask.
Yes,
so please, that's never an option.
Right. We're going to go to Washington, D.C. for our next story, where a new statues has caught people's attention and eyes.
Right. So, by the way, there's this area called the National Mall in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
It's not like a shopping mall,
No.
but it's a strip of land where the major monuments all stand, with the Washington Monument at the very end. Well, to one side, there was this bronze statue showing 2 men, and this is what major media outlets called it. Frolicking.
Shall we do?
They have they're holding
like this.
hands,
We're holding
and then
hands
their
like this.
one foot popped in the air. So this plaque. Who are these people?
Yes.
According to the plaque, we celebrate the long-lasting bond between President Donald J. Trump and his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein. It's unknown who the sculptor was. However, reports say it has artistic and thematic similarities to recent art pieces that have been critical of the president. Again, of course, this draws attention to the relationship between Trump and Epstein. And the closest friend remark comes from the alleged letter card he signed in Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book.
That's right.
And other lines are also from the alleged birthday book are also printed verbatim on the statue's plaques. And apparently this is to commemorate September being Friendship Month.
Oh, I didn't know it was Friendship
September
Month.
is apparently Friendship Month.
Yes. And so we're actually going to post so you have a better understanding on our Notu page. That is what we're referring to. So, wow. Okay. So how did President Trump respond to this?
Well, the White House issued a statement saying, quote, liberals are free to waste their money however they see fit, but it's not news that Epstein knew Donald Trump because Donald Trump kicked Epstein out of his club for being, quote, a creep. This is where it also took an unexpected turn several hours ago.
Okay.
This statue was removed Wednesday morning local time. Interestingly, apparently, according to the organization that put up the statue,
yes,
it had a permit from the National Park Service to be on display until 8 p.m. on Sunday. This was removed Wednesday morning.
Okay.
So the park police said that it was in violation of its permit, but didn't explain the nature of said violation.
Interesting. So it's gone now, but we have the photos.
Yeah, everybody has the photos.
Okay. Well, we've been covering the UN General Assembly and, of course, the major strokes, the points, but let's kind of go to behind the scene in New York.
Right, because if you have 132 heads of state and representatives all gathered in the busiest city in the world,
yes,
security and traffic would be a nightmare.
Yes.
So NYPD, New York Police Department, and Secret Service, they've blocked off a 250-meter perimeter to the UN headquarters for those with access only. There are helicopters hovering. The Coast Guard have blocked ships and vessels from approaching the area.
Right.
And aircrafts are banned, so planes cannot fly over the area during the high-level week. However, this year, tension is even greater because, number one, who's in attendance, including Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, whose respective countries are at war, not with each other. But also, timing-wise, this comes right after the Charlie Kirk assassination,
That's
so
right.
it's Secret Service, and the authorities are on highest alert. By the way, security authorities, they also shut down traffic whenever presidential or prime ministerial motorcades pass through. And New York's not famous for green light traffic. So that has led to this certain level of notoriety with New Yorkers.
And actually, this story was kind of, some might say amusing, some might say, Well, anyhow, a president, not President Trump, a president complained about this motorcade shutdown, right?
Good-naturedly.
Yes.
French President Emmanuel Macron, video footage online shows him getting out of his car to talk to police officers because I don't know if it was a motorcade or if it was just a car, was stopped because of Donald Trump's motorcade that was planned to go through town. So in the footage, Macron almost jokingly tells a police officer that he needs to get to his country's, the French consulate. And the officer also kind of smiling says, I'm really sorry, Mr. President, but everything has been frozen. And President Macron says, can we negotiate? And then he kind of pulls this move of like, I want to speak to your manager. Again, jokingly. Well, who's the manager? Donald
President
Trump. Right. So he calls Trump and says, how are you? Guess what? I'm waiting in the street because everything is frozen for you. And then they also go through a little bit of policy talk. And Macron says, oh, hey, by the way, after we're done with this certain event, I want to talk with Qatar and you about Gaza. So there's I think he knew that the cameras were rolling.
Yes, he knew.
So he is let through the barricades and he walks to the French consulate for about half an hour, taking photos with visitors and, people who are asking for selfies. So PR move. Power move.
Yeah, definitely. So interesting. All these woggly stories, which we're going to have to call it a wrap on just for today, though. And we'll check in with you tomorrow. So thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, everybody. That was Wagu. Now let's get to your updated traffic and weather. It's time for your updated traffic report. There is an accident to report on. First up on the Dongso overpass going away from the city on Hwangyong ramp with a trailer and a car. It's been cleared up, but there is still backup because of this. And there is a cargo truck that is broken down on Busan 외곽 순환도로, the Busan Outer Ring Expressway toward Changwon, right at the entrance of Jinyeong Tunnel. Number 2. Also, there is backup on Pyeongno from the old Banyo tollgate to Suyeong Tunnel, and it is congested on Suyeongno from KBS 3-way intersection to Daenam intersection. Currently, it's 25 degrees Celsius and raining lightly in some parts of Busan. The daytime high will go up to 29, and you can expect the sporadic drizzles throughout the day. Across the nation, raining with heavy rain and gusts of wind in southern Chungnam and Jeolla areas. And this was your traffic and weather. This is your special interview. Before heading to New York City for the UN General Assembly High-Level Week, President Lee Jae-myung gave an interview to Reuters, focusing on tariff negotiations with the United States. And during the August summit, if you remember, South Korea agreed to invest $350 billion in the U.S. in exchange for lower tariffs on certain goods. However, President Lee said that a formal agreement between South Korea and the U.S. has yet to be finalized, leaving the negotiations stalled. Well, he also warned that without safeguards, the deal could trigger risks similar to the 1997 Asian financial crisis. We're going to delve into all of these issues. Joining us today is Professor Shin Myung-yu, who is the Associate Professor in the School of Economics at Yonsei University. Let's say hi. Hi, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Yes, so Professor, can we go over the main reasons for the South Korea-U.S. tariff negotiations, which have yet to produce a kind of a finalized agreement?
Yeah, the most important reason seems to be that there were many holes in the agreement so that the US government can exploit the already agreed treatment to further squeeze the counterpart country. And ambiguity, which usually arises in the agreement between the leaders of different countries, raise such uncertainty. To me, this seems to be a sort of the natural consequences of the tariff uncertainty that is created by the Trump administration from the last year. While the trade policy uncertainty was somehow resolved after the summit last month, many experts pointed out that it was just beginning because details of the deals were somewhat unclear at that point. And this is actually what we have observed for the last several months, which clearly shows that such an uncertainty is not easily resolved.
Yes.
Actually, Korea is not the only country face this issue. While Japan now enjoys somewhat lower tariff on cars than what Hyundai Motors has to pay at this moment, Japan also experienced similar problems after the deal was made between Japan and US. And similar to the Japanese case, we are pretty sure that details of the investment fund was not fully negotiated between the Korean and the US government when there was a summit.
I see. Thanks for explaining the backdrop. And, this number is being thrown out a lot, this $350 billion investment that South Korea would have to invest in the United States. So realistically, though, what kind of challenge does this pose for South Korea? It is not a small amount.
Yeah, it is definitely a great amount. And there are, of course, pros and cons in that investment. On the bright side, it would lower the tariff rate that the exporting firms like Hyundai face, which improves their competitiveness in terms of prices in the U.S. market. And this potentially increase GDP growth rate of the Korean economy, which heavily depends on the export.
Yes.
However, it also has a clear problem. There would be less domestic investment because investment in the U.S. substitute out the domestic investment, which we have already experienced for the last several decades. And so there would be less employment in Korea. And I also like to point out that exporting firms tend to create high quality jobs because they are usually associated with a higher labor productivity. And this means that there will be less jobs created in Korea, so making expected income of the workers to be lower than before when considering the clear dual labor market structure in Korea. So in the medium or maybe in the long run, this would lower domestic demand, potentially hurting the growth of the Korean economy. So unless we can make a plan to create good jobs in Korea, and there would be more incentive for the firms to make more domestic investment. Such an investment in the U.S. might hurt the Korean economy at the cost of lower tariff rate.
Yes. So that's the overall picture. And President Lee also mentioned the 1997 Asian financial crisis, which, of course, here domestically brings shudders and just really terrible feelings and sentiments of what happened back then. So the reason why he brought this up, I mean, how are we supposed to kind of interpret this? Is this more of a warning, or how realistic is this scenario?
Yeah, so as you just pointed out, I think it is like a warning, and it is the kind of signal that a president who should care about the economy that he represents can send to the market that Korea does not intend to bear all the burdens or the costs associated with the trade deals with the U.S. And yes, as we have already discussed earlier, the massive investment in the U.S. can potentially substitute investment in Korea, and that can potentially harm the Korean economy, even there is a gain from the great export. However, I need to point out that while there clearly is a risk associated with such huge investment in the U.S.,
yes,
I expect that the risk is not that large as the financial crisis that we experienced in 1997. One of the problems at that point was that the capital outflow was really drastic in a short window. But the investment in the US will take a lot of time. So the likelihood of drastic capital outflow from Korea that we experienced earlier would not be that high.
I see. Well, that's definitely good to hear, Professor. Right now, it does seem like, of course, behind closed doors, I'm sure there's negotiating going on, but with the UN General Assembly high-level week as well, all the sides are, I'm sure, very busy, tending to their own needs. But these stalled negotiations, how is this affecting Korean companies right now?
Yeah, it clearly has a negative effect on the trade. So it will clearly have a negative impact on the firms in Korea. But if the deal can be closed soon, which we hope, there will be kind of the limited effect. So if you think about the tariff rate on the cars exported from Korea, it's 25%, and it's clearly higher than what Japanese phone makers, the car makers, has to pay, which is 15%.
Yes.
But if you think about the original tariff rate that the Japanese car makers has to pay, it was initially 2.5%, and it has increased by 6 times. And also, another competitor in the U.S. market is the European, the firms in the European unions.
Right.
And it took more than a month to finalize the deal to lower the tariff rate on the cars from the European countries from 27.5% to 15%.
Right.
So unless there is a sudden change that we didn't really expect, which negatively affect the Korean firms, while there is clear negative effect on the Korean firms, if the deal can be made soon, then maybe there will be limited effect.
Well, Professor, as we wrap up our discussion today, in your opinion, what would be kind of like the best case scenario for both countries, but especially South Korea, as we look to resolving these stalled talks and hopefully as quickly as possible?
Yeah, of course, the best scenario is that both governments can compromise on the agreement that does not make one country to lose too much, both in the short run and in the long run. So to me, one thing that might be necessary for the Korean government at this point is that it does not have to show that it can yield everything to the U.S. government. So this is like the trade deal is like the ping pong. So it usually takes a lot of time. So we have to keep the government has to keep the endurance and put every effort to persuade and show to the U.S. officials that finalizing the agreement between the U.S. and Korea is really mutually beneficial.
I see. Of course, we will await word, and I guess we're going to have to be patient as well as they hammer this deal out. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we do appreciate your expertise, Professor.
Thank you.
This was Professor Shin Myung-yu, and we talked about the tariff deal and, of course, economic stability as well that comes from what's happening right now between South Korea and the United States. So we will keep you abreast of all the news that comes out, emerges from this deal. We are going to get to our next song. This is a song request from Benny. This is Wa by Lee Jung-hyun. Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan. What does it mean to live in an English-friendly Busan? And what role does English play as Busan rises as a global hub city?
올 가을 여러분에게 영어하기 편한 도시 부산으로 가는 길을 안내합니다.
This fall, on September 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m., join us for a special outdoor stage event at F1963 Open Square, featuring a thought-provoking panel with a professional English educator, Lee Bo-young, British broadcaster Peter Bint, K-pop idol Aaron, and me, Catherine. Plus, enjoy a special live performance by Busan's English-friendly city ambassador Kim Jo-han and singer-songwriter Coffee 소년. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan.
9월 27일 토요일 오후 3시 F1963 오픈스퀘어에서 여러분을 기다립니다.
It is time for Buzz Breakdown.
Hello.
Vasana's here.
Vasana is here.
Yes, nicely showered. That's our inside joke. No one understands except for our staff members. Hey, Vasana.
Guten Morgen.
Yes,
Guten
I
Morgen.
have a question for you.
Yes.
If there was one thing you could change about your workplace or something you want to add to your workplace or just change altogether, what would it be?
Move it closer to my home.
Ah, me too, me too. How long is your commute?
In the morning, it's not too bad. If I go during rush hour, it can be quite long.
Like how long?
1 hour.
Where are you? Oh, don't tell us your school name, but like, where is your school located?
It's on an island.
It's on an island?
Yeah.
An island?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay. Gyeongdo Island. My commute is far too, because from Haeundae to Saha.
Yes.
Every day that the Gwangan Bridge, that top portion that I talk about all the time during traffic and weather. But yeah,
I've walked to your school one time.
Really?
From the Busan Zoo, is it still there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's shut down, but yeah.
Okay, from when it used to be there.
I see.
From there to your school. That was an all-day hike.
All day.
I hate hiking, and I don't think I've been.
But that's a good one. Moving your workplace, if you could, you could move, or if you love your home, have your workplace move closer to.
But seriously,
where you are. Yes.
Seriously,
yes.
Korea has this thing about changing work or your job. If you're in a government job,
yes,
then they change every 3 or 4 years.
They kind of rotate positions,
they rotate,
right?
Yeah, it's a rotation. So if there's something I'd like to change, it would be that, because the office people always change every 2 years in my department. So that means every 2 years we have to then go through the rigmarole of teaching them again. Or them changing the rules to suit themselves, suit the way that they do it. I understand why they did it in the 80s.
Yes.
Because of financial reasons.
But they still do it.
Yeah, maybe. But these days, I'm sure it's not as prolific, if that's a word I could use.
There's one more thing I would change. Have the school cafeteria be closer, because you know how most college campuses are kind of like on a hill or mountain. That hike,
not mine.
Lucky you. There's only like 2 universities in Busan that are not on a hill. You're one of them, but mine is like on a mountain hill, so it's like, to get to the cafeteria, it's like a hike, so I just don't bother.
It's working up your appetite.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's just making my calf muscles get bigger. No.
If you're not hungry, then you're hungry by the time you get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to jump into Buzz Breakdown. So what do you have for us?
Sure. I got some more slang from Gen Z today, so we might get some more people. Please buzz in.
I hope it's real slang for and from Gen Z, so let's get into them. Okay.
Yes, please correct me if I'm wrong.
They shall.
The first one that isn't really a slang. It was a slang when I was young, but it had a different meaning. One is unk.
Unk.
Yeah.
So what is unk?
Short for uncle.
Mm-hmm.
But, when I was at school, unk or unco was a person who was uncoordinated.
Oh, uncoordinated.
Or
unk.
like, I think in Korean you would say 몸치.
아, 몸치.
Yeah.
네네.
So
okay.
basically me on the dance floor.
We gotta, check that out. We need to be the judge to see if you're unk on the dance floor.
I'm definitely unk on the dance floor. But anyway.
Okay.
So first one, lock in.
Lock in. What does that mean?
So I think that really hasn't changed that much. It's just it's being used more these days. So you're studying for TOEIC at a Somyeon cafe or some kind of cafe anywhere, earphones in, no distractions.
So you're like locked in.
You're locked in.
You are like zeroed in on your target, like really, really concentrating, locked in.
Full focus mode. If you're into sports, then that is not real slang because you use it all the time. So lock into the game, lock into your opponent, etc., etc. The opposite of that, and a real example would be yesterday's game.
Okay. Must we go there?
Of course.
Okay. Which team are we talking about?
We're talking about our local team here, or rather your local team.
It's like when the team is winning, it's our team. When the team is not doing so well, it's your team, right?
Yes.
The Lotte Giants?
Crash out.
왜 이러세요, 아드님, today.
So crashing out.
Yes.
So crashing out can be for that kind of thing, but also an emotional meltdown. So I use the word meltdown. From my generation, we say meltdown.
Yes.
But these days they say crash out.
Crash out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've had a lot of crashes.
Okay.
Crash outs over the years.
Crash out. Got it.
Now, sometimes old slang comes back. So last year it was Riz.
Riz for charisma.
Charisma.
That's kind of old, though.
Yes, that is old. But once again, it's... we didn't really use Riz, though, did we? When we were young.
No.
We would just say charisma.
Charisma. We used the full word.
We used the full word.
We did not shorten and abbreviate everything.
No, we did not.
No, we did not.
So here's another one that's come back.
Which one?
Swag.
Swag is back?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought swag. I used swag a couple of years ago, and somebody said, no, nobody uses that anymore.
That's so old.
But apparently it is back. So if your street style in Nampodong is on point, your friends might say, wow. swag이다.
swag 있다. Not 이다.
swag이다.
But
swaggy. I use the word swaggy.
swaggy?
Yeah. Might have a different meaning. But anyway.
Oh, the little birdie said, 쓰레기로 들리는데 쓰레기 아니에요. swag 있다. You got to enunciate. 발음 좀 정확하게 해주세요. 네.
But you know how I pronounce 쓰레기?
How?
Shriggy.
Shriggy.
Like Shrek, but with a G. Shriggy.
Aw, okay.
Yeah, I think that's cute.
Okay. So what... Oh, no. 하지 마세요. Oh. 우리 카메라 꺼주세요. 불고 lights out. Okay.
Okay.
Vasana is enunciating. Okay, what else?
Okay, the kitchen section. Chopped. Yeah, you're chopped.
Like chop.
Yep, chop. Means looking messy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
this is a new one.
Your shirt is it's ironed today.
You iron your shirts?
No, not this one.
Okay.
This is a non-iron shirt.
I was going to say there's wrinkle-free,
But I think one time I turned up with a shirt that I thought was ironed, but it was not. But showing up to class with wrinkled clothes, you're chopped.
You're chopped.
Or showing up with a hangover.
You're chopped.
Sticking of soju.
Yes.
Yeah, stop.
Interesting.
Yeah, but if you really mess up, like missing your bus and your exam.
Oh my gosh, that's like a nightmare.
Or a date or whatever, you're cooked.
Cooked.
So
I remember that.
Yeah.
You're cooked. You're done.
That's never gone out of my vernacular. I've always used
Are
cooked.
you sure Gen Z is using this?
Apparently.
Okay, if you say so.
But a lot of these words I have used, and young people have asked me, what does that mean?
Okay.
Or even yesterday, I won't say the word I used, but
they're like, what is that?
What is that? Wow.
Okay. What else?
Clanker.
Clanker.
Yeah. So this one, has a different meaning once again when I was young. Clanker, so this is a sporting term when I used it. But it's what young people call robots or AI when they're annoyed.
Oh.
So when something is not doing or working or
properly,
not giving them the answers that they want, or the like, if these words are wrong, when I was looking up the dictionary and the dictionary was wrong, I said, "Oh, this is such a clanker."
Oh, okay, that's how you use it.
Yeah.
Okay,
sorry,
got it.
Sorry, Shidi. Then one-shotted. Okay, so I know this one.
What is one-shotted?
You've never played FPS games? What's an FPS?
What's FPS?
What's FPS, listeners?
FPS.
First-person shooting game.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
gamers that play in PC bungs know this.
What does it mean?
Getting taken out in one hit.
One
so
shot,
usually
one kill?
when you when you hit somebody, if you're hitting them on the shoulder, they're not
I'm
dead.
one-shotted?
Yeah, no,
I'm not one-shotted.
You're not one-shotted.
Oh.
Yeah, so you said one shot.
But
one
if
kill.
I execution task, like headshot, then you would be
headshot, definitely
one-shotted, right?
Headshot as in shooting.
Okay.
But now it means life-changing experiences.
Really?
So, for example, if you're seeing an awesome band for the first time,
yes,
and you're just going, "Wow,
I'm one-shotted."
You're one-shotted. You're. 오빠.
오늘 잘못 먹었어, Vasana. What's going on? Wait. Oh, okay.
Okay.
One-shotted. Got it.
One-shotted. Okay. Or watching our show for the first time. One-shot.
People are wondering, what is this show about? Don't
Yes.
judge us on this one segment, please. Yes.
Next one, clocking your tea.
What is that?
This one I didn't know. And I'm not sure. Maybe our listeners can confirm it is a term. I've never heard this before. Comes from LGBTQ plus ballroom culture.
Oh.
It means spotting the truth.
Oh.
Like if your friends say they're studying, but you catch them singing at a 노래방, you clocked their tea.
Oh.
I won't go into the definition of it, but
okay.
it basically means when you've been caught out.
You've been caught like in a lie.
Yeah. So, for example, you're in a line to go into a nightclub and you ring up your friend and they go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm at home," but you see them, "Oh, they're up there."
They're ahead of us in the line.
Yeah.
Are they going to let us cut?
Yeah.
그리고 nightclub so old. 어떻게 nightclub이라고 해요? On morning wave.
Nobody goes, okay, so you say clubs, right? You don't say night.
MZ's club. 그냥 club. Clubbing, right? Yes.
Yeah. So there's clubbing, there's night clubbing, and then there's night.
Are those the different levels?
Oh, yeah.
You sound so sure, like you know.
Yeah, I do know that one.
Okay. Okay, what else?
나이트 가세요?
Oh no.
That's where you have all the.
자야 돼요 집에서. Yes.
갈래요. Sorry. That's when you have all the picky outside. Picky. Okay.
PD님 오늘 Vasana 뭐 잘못 먹었나 봐요. 어쩌죠? Okay.
Okay,
next,
fashion
next.
slang.
Okay.
So if someone nails their outfit or performance, you say they ate.
Yeah, that one I know.
You know that one?
Yeah,
I didn't know
they
that
ate.
one. Really? And if
like I ate, that doesn't mean I ate something.
Okay.
It just means I slayed it.
Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know that one.
Because like that's the
There's a
new
different
version of
meaning in
slay.
mine. Okay, slay.
You know, slay.
Oh, really?
S-L-A-Y.
That went
Yeah.
out? Slay is out?
No, that's out.
Oh, my goodness. I
So
still
it's
say
I ate.
slay.
Yeah, that's why. That's why we're here to teach.
Okay.
Yes.
And if they were very flawless,
Uh-huh.
they left no crumbs.
I love that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
we love leaving no crumbs every day.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's you every day. Yeah, eating and
Yes.
leaving no crumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And finally, Looksmaxxing.
Looksmaxxing. What is this?
This doesn't look like a word.
Looksmaxxing.
The
Maximizing your looks?
Yeah, maximizing.
Oh, so it's like looksmaxxing.
Yeah,
Oh.
basically that. Maximizing
Oh.
your looks.
Like squeezing everything out, like
Yeah.
다 짜내서 예쁘게 보이는 거를 looksmaxxing.
맞습니다, 맞고요.
다음 주에 못 나올 수 있어요, Vasana. 왜 이러세요? And because
Yeah.
두둥님 says, 누가 커피에 독탄.
네?
Did they poison your coffee?
I haven't. Maybe that's it.
You haven't had your coffee.
I haven't had my coffee this morning.
So your like cuteness overload is just out and about.
Ning.
Ning.
Ning. Nip.
Okay, let's get a quick recap on all the words we went over today.
Okay, sure. Lock in, which is focus.
Yes, focus deeply.
Yep.
Okay.
Crash out, Lotte Giants.
Meltdown, right? AKA meltdown. Okay.
Swag.
Like cool confidence.
Yep. Chopped.
Like messy.
Yep. Cooked.
You're done. You have messed up royally.
You are cooked.
Yes.
Clanker.
Something about like you said, like robot or AI. You're like fed up with it, and you're like, oh, it's a clanker.
Yeah, it's
right?
a clanker.
What else?
One-shotted.
Like that's like the big hit, like that takes you out and like one shot, one kill.
Yeah, but if you've seen something for the first time and you're in
you're
awe.
so like, oh my God, amazed.
Yes, amazed.
Okay, got it.
And clocking tea.
Clocking tea.
Clocking tea. That's catching someone in a lie or catching secrets or finding out some secrets. 8, no crumbs.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. I think that's the best one today. And Looksmaxxing.
Yes, maximizing your attractiveness. Well, apparently you did some Looksmaxxing because 문희님 오늘 진짜 재밌어요. 문희님 정말요요? 정말 for real 진짜?
감사합니다.
그럼 계속 하잖아요. We gotta stop the
I'll
cuteness.
get my coffee soon.
Okay. So, I know that you real quick wanted to talk about something.
Have we got time?
Yeah, real quick.
Real quick. Okay, I'll just say the phrase.
Okay.
So in the 1988 Seoul Olympics, our Korean boxer, Park Si-hoon had the gold medal.
Yes.
But he really knew Roy Jones Jr. ate that fight, leaving no crumbs.
Right.
Even though he got the gold medal. So he set the record straight and gave him the gold medal.
Right.
Total respect. Total swag.
So you included some of the words. I like that. All right. Well, we appreciate you eating and leaving no crumbs today. And we will maybe check in with you next week
maybe.
for Buzz Breakdown. So take care. Thank you, Vasana.
안녕.
Okay. 네. I'm so speechless. Well, I do want to thank you, the listeners, for tuning in and chiming in today. And of course, don't forget the listener survey on our website for BEFM. We love your constructive feedback and also what's happening. Our live stage, 공개방송, coming Saturday, September 27th. 3 p.m. at F1963. Final song for today is this one, Closing Time by Semi-Sonic. So enjoy, have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know to take me home, take me home. Closing time, time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time, this room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. So gather up your jackets, move it to the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Yeah, I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. places you will be from.
Your best choice, BEFM.